And are you refreshed? Good. Now what?
It's wonderful to be here. I believe that my husband and I met through the law of attraction about 9 years ago. And from everything we've been talking, I think everything that we've been talking all this morning has come directly home in a way. So what I need really, or would like, is for you to tell me how to own my vibration.
Practicing it. By finding a spot that feels good and just sticking there, just talk about it until those who are listening in are gagging from your repetition. Just by rubbing in the good stuff, by finding a place that feels good and then just talking about how it feels good and how much you like it and how other things remind you of it. Because law of attraction not only encourages and supports, but increases the stability and momentum and power of a vibration. So when you find it and it feels good, just linger there longer. Just linger there longer. It helps if your powerful intention is to feel good, so that if you're in the middle of something that doesn't, you find yourself willing to shy away from it, even willing to get up and leave a table discussion or put yourself in a different environment. In other words, caring first and foremost about the way you feel, and then doing everything to support that. That really is the way you own the vibration that puts you in the receptive mode. It's the way you own any vibration, wanted or unwanted. More airtime.
It just gets kind of cloudy, and then when I want to act on it, it starts not feeling right sometimes.
This will help you. Esther's been noticing her favorite state of being is one of clarity. So she even enjoys now, because clarity is her goal, because clarity equals alignment, because clarity is the indication of alignment. No split energy. No, should I do this, should I do this? Clarity is this. I'm going to do this. So since clarity feels so good, what Esther has begun to notice quite a bit is that sometimes things that she formerly would have said, I don't want to experience, are the reason for the clarity. Don't you sort of like knowing what you want to think about? And isn't it helpful to know that when you think about what feels good, that is to your advantage, and when you think about what doesn't feel good, it is not to your advantage? And so it's an interesting thing. We love you all so much, but we find it interesting how willing you are to put up with things that don't feel good for the sake of becoming clearer, for the sake of being objective, for the sake of not wanting to hurt someone else's feelings. All kinds of reasons that really don't stand up in terms of advantage to you. A lot of it is because you've been trained by others who were not in alignment during their training process with you, that it's important that you serve others. And we are not discouraging being uplifters. We are not discouraging helping where you can. But if serving others is more important to you than serving yourself by finding alignment, then most important, you won't feel good. And next, in that not practicing of the vibration and therefore not owning it, you have very little to offer them other than commiserating in their discord or their discomfort. So once you get hold of this and you're experiencing the clarity that comes from following the thoughts that feel good to you, before long you won't be in that ambivalent place and that place of confusion. Just say to yourself when you feel confused, well, clearly I've been splitting my energy so much that I'm not experiencing clarity. What is it that I want now, and why do I want it? Or get off the subject altogether. We would like to say to you that, and this is a perfect time to say it, when you focus upon a thought for as little as 17 seconds, law of attraction will compound that thought with another that is like it. It's just the way this vibrational universe works. If you hold that for another 17 seconds, still more and still more and still more, until if you have held a thought, wanted or unwanted, for as little as 68 seconds, which is just 17, 17, 17, 17, what happens is there is enough momentum in your point of attraction that you're going to begin realizing evidence of that vibrational stance. Well, we want the first awareness of the evidence for you to be the way you feel, which means you have to care about how you feel. You must be sensitive to the way you feel, and we don't know of any way of helping you become sensitive to your emotions that is better than deciding that you will set aside 15 or 20 minutes every day for meditation. Because when you deliberately quiet your mind, which just means find some small thought to focus on. Don't focus upon world events, that won't work. Don't focus upon trying to solve a problem, that won't either. Focus on something like the sound of a drip of a faucet, or Esther likes to focus upon the sound of the air conditioner if there is one, or a note that she is holding either audibly or in her own mind. Just something that is not a big thought but that you can focus on, because as you focus on a thought that's not a big thought, the active thoughts, the momentum of them will subside, and you will find yourself in a vibrational place of non-resistance, which allows your frequency to get up to speed with who you really are, and clarity comes from that. So caring about how you feel and beginning to notice that aren't there subjects that as soon as you get on them you feel uncomfortable? Stay away from those subjects. But the thing about this business of attraction is there's no staying away from anything. You can't stay away from something without stepping right in the middle of it. I'm not going to think that thought that I'm thinking right now. I'm not going to think that thought because it doesn't feel good and I don't like the way I'm feeling right now, so I'm not going to think about that anymore, because when I think about it I don't feel good, and not feeling good isn't what I want, and I'm tired of not feeling good, and so I'm just not going to think about that anymore, and I'm tired of talking about it too. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to think about it, because last time I was thinking about it I started talking about it, and then they called me and we were talking about it more, and then we talked about it around dinner, and I think it's time that I give up that thought because I can see it is not serving me, so I'm not going to think about that thought that I'm thinking about it. I'm not going to think about that thought anymore. I'm just really tired of thinking about that thought. It just seems like it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I think there should be a group and there should be a 12-step process to get rid of those thoughts. I think that we should get rid of those thoughts. I should be able to find a way to get rid of those thoughts. I need to get rid of those thoughts because this thought clearly is not serving me. This thought is not serving me. Damn, I am not going to think about this thought anymore. I'm just tired about thinking about this thought. I think I'll take a nap. Finally, you found a way to stop the momentum of that. So it's not about avoiding a thought, it's about finding another thought. But you can't find the other thought in the middle of the thought, and that's what makes it hard for you. So often you find yourself, you know your guidance is working, you know you don't feel good, you know that you're on a track that isn't serving you and isn't serving whoever it is you're talking to about it. You can feel it. Your body will actually start to crumble right before you if you hang on to that long enough, and so you know that this is not a good train of thought for you, and yet you can't get off of it because momentum has you in its grips. The law of attraction, momentum. So what you want to do is just acknowledge, well, law of attraction is just doing its thing, and I've got this thing activated way longer than I meant to, but it's all right because I now know what to do. And now I'm going to do whatever I can do to try to distract myself from that. And sometimes you can distract yourself and sometimes you can't. But sleep will distract you. Meditation will distract you. But it's hard to go into meditation when you've got a strong momentum about something that's bothering you, because you'll just use that time to chew on what's bothering you. You'll just do it silently. And so understanding it matters. And understanding that while you sleep, momentum subsides, and that when you awaken you have the best possibility of finding a better feeling thought. And if that is just your soft and gentle but deliberate intention, you'll just find more and more and more and more of the thoughts that feel good, and the thoughts that don't feel good will stick out in a stronger way. And here's the most important part: you'll catch it in the early subtle stages when it is easy to deflect it. Jerry used to tell a story. It was one of the first stories Esther remembers hearing from him about being a deliberate creator. And he said He can remember sitting in front of a fireplace, and there was some sort of a log in the fireplace that was really crackling and popping. He said it was a chinkapin log. Esther just thought that was such a funny name for a log, a chinkapin log. And a spark came out of the fireplace and landed on his cashmere sweater. And Jerry noticed that if he went like that, nothing happened. But if he said, well, looky there, it would burn a hole right in his sweater. And so that's the way law of attraction is with these thoughts. When it comes, flick it off by choosing something that feels better, catching it in the early subtle stages. So there are two things you want to do. Be more deliberate and care about how you feel. Be more deliberate and care about how you feel. And most of all, don't beat up on yourself when you find yourself in the middle of something that's negative, because that will compound it for sure. There is nothing that will add faster, negative momentum to your current point of attraction than beating up on yourself for some unnecessary reason. And we're saying that directly to you. To all of you, but directly to you, because that's your MO. In other words, I'm not really where I want to be, and there's something really wrong with that, and I should be doing better by now. And none of that's true, because you're right on your path. You have a clear understanding of this. Every day you're holding a stronger confidence in a vibration that serves you, and the manifestations of your life are reflecting that. So just acknowledge that and watch what happens. And if you want to help anybody else, acknowledge the improvements in their moods and attitudes too. Don't praise your kids for what they're accomplishing. Praise them for their moods. And only talk about their moods when their moods are flying high. Never point out their bad mood. Never reprimand their bad deeds. Praise their good moods and watch what happens. I just love it when you're happy like this. I just love the clarity that I'm feeling from you. Oh, you're really tuned in. I just love the way you're behaving. I love the way your body is responding to your happiness. Use every opportunity that you can to point out alignment when you see it, and hold your tongue when you see something other than alignment, for others and for yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.